States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So, all members except Kat, and I'm sure she'll be here because I did not get notice from anyone today that they wouldn't be here. First item on the agenda is to review and approve the November 10th regular session meeting minutes that Michelle provided and I forwarded.
There was one section under code enforcement, and somebody talked about oh, no, this was later. So I just wanted to verify what that number was, because I believe it should be 15,619 that that it increased. I think this is on your chart, actually, was my question.
On my chart?
Yeah.
Code enforcement?
Please hold.
619. Code enforcement. The increase was $15,160.
Yep. Okay.
That's the total increase on code enforcement.
Want to make sure I have
That's the
that
only number?
correct.
Okay,
Yep.
cool.
Unless anyone else has anything?
I just need a motion and a second then to accept.
Yeah, I'll make the motion.
I can second.
So we have a motion and a second to accept the November 10th, 2025 regular session meeting minutes as submitted by the secretary. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay. Next, we'll do updates from the select board and then the school board. Anything from select board?
Kind of. The insurance subcommittee voted to make a recommendation to the select board to update the employee handbook to change the splits and also to recommend that they look into whether or not the town should also contribute towards deductibles at all. That has not gone in front of the select board yet. That goes in front of them tomorrow. And I think that's it. Because we didn't have a select board meeting last week.
Right, no meeting last week.
What was the split they voted?
100%. So using the middle plan, which is Plan B, the town will cover 100% of a single person, 80% of a couple, and 80% of the cost of the family plan, with the balance being paid by the employee, and then those same dollar amounts going towards Plan A and Plan C.
Thanks, Letty.
Mhm.
Dan, school board updates?
No update from school since our last meeting.
I had a note, I had a scribbled note from actually when I was sitting at the school board meeting last time. When is your budget hearing?
So typically in the past, we've done it, like we'll have another meeting in December. The school board will have another meeting in December. And after that, we'll be ready to present to the budget committee. And so I think we've got a couple of options. So our school board meeting in December is Monday, December 1st. So we could shoot to come here on the 8th or the 15th and try to squeeze it in before the winter holidays, or we could look to like early January and come to a budget committee meeting then. It's kind of up. The school board was open to either of those two options.
So
I think it's up to-
you're expecting as a board to finalize your budget on the 1st?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I think, but you know, obviously feedback from this committee is a really important part of the process. So we can schedule that now, we can schedule that at the end of this meeting, or we can hang tight for a minute.
Anyone on the board have strong feelings either way about it?
Because I think we stopped scheduling budget committee meetings up to a certain point, right?
We went
Anyway.
through this December. We haven't scheduled the January meetings yet.
Yeah.
If it was up to me, I'd say let's just wait till January and get through some more of the town side budgets
See
first.
how we progress through
Yeah,
this other stuff.
exactly.
Yeah.
You think that's okay?
Yeah, that's good.
Anyone else? Okay, yeah, we'll schedule it in January then.
Thanks for bringing that up, Letty.
Is that your question?
That was the question that my scribble on.
Okay, I thought you were asking about the hearing.
So
I mean, the meeting.
Only request was a selfish request from the school board, and now that it's coming back to me, since there's a large number or a larger number of folks who would be coming here, if we could be at the top of the agenda, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no,
I feel like
Thanks.
the school's usually the only thing,
I
or
would-
like
I would think that night.
we don't usually.
That-
Last year, 2 years ago, there was 1 year where we had to do like police and school the same night. And it was terrible.
Okay,
Typically, it's on its own or like with another.
something that's really
Yeah.
basic, right? Okay, we'll definitely do that.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Makes sense. Thank you, Letty.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess we'll jump right into the budgets to review. First one is emergency management. The select board proposed total is $4,627, which is basically flat from last year. Any comments, questions from any committee members?
Yeah. What is the salaries line? Because it says that there's no employees, just in the thing that you'd sent out.
I believe I did that because this is, I believe is a stipend type thing.
Okay.
And I actually did reach out to Mr. Murphy to see if he wanted to attend. He really didn't need to be here, he said.
It's I don't think it's a stipend. I think it's an hourly for when he fills out paperwork for the state, or I know that when we're in a drill cycle, he holds drills for the Seabrook power plant.
Well, if it's an hourly thing, did you get anything on select board that says how much it is an hour and how many hours is in there?
Not that I remember, but I can look.
Because I didn't receive that.
It's definitely not a stipend, because if it were a stipend, it would be more than $200 for the year. Yeah, I'm
Yeah, no, that's okay. I think, I'm pretty sure on welfare there is FICA, or I could look. Let's just look. We already.
We're not concerned that two
Yeah, it is
lines.
FICA. Because they're paid through the town.
We're not concerned about the two lines that are being removed.
define concerned.
I know typically we like to keep lines open, but I don't know any history of these.
I don't know why the general supplies line went down $1. I think that was one that it made sense to keep open. The Seabrook Station line used to have $8,500 in an appropriation, so that there was some reason that they did it that way. A couple years ago, the town voted instead to take the $8,500 that comes from the state and put it directly into a capital reserve fund. So I can understand removing that one, because I think we left the $1 last year because we weren't sure how it was going to pan out.
Yeah.
So taking that one out makes sense. I don't know about the supplies line.
It looks like they're just trying to offset the increase by taking out this $2.
I mean, the increase doesn't seem to be tied to any real anything though, other than just a placeholder value that they're putting in.
Hmm.
I can go see. Do you know, Julie? Like why the change? Yeah, why the changes? Okay. I guess. Yeah, I guess you're probably right. Making lines 0 make me more nervous than cutting them. So we approve a bottom line number. Could we change it to like $1 in general supplies? $65, no, $65 less in telephone and leave another $1 on Seabrook? That do the same thing?
It would have to be, keep $1 in there and make it 68 in telephone.
Yes.
Um,
But then again, if this is the budget that he submitted, then he must be okay with it.
I know. I wish we had 5 years of actuals.
We could, that is a thing we could get.
Let me check.
I don't have 5 years of actuals for the whole department. I mean, for each individual line. I can tell you what they are for the, I could tell you what they are for the total for the year.
Right.
But Michelle, it looks like, might be able to have something for us.
So do you have anything on the salaries, like how that number was? Okay. Because again, I just assumed he put in that departmental request and it was approved, but if it's an hourly thing.
If I recall correctly,
Okay,
because
no.
this budget was level funded, it was not discussed heavily at the select
Okay.
board.
Okay.
There were not a lot of questions. Would you say that is? Yeah.
So for the 2024, there was $1,200 in that line and nothing was spent. Might be one of those, I mean, maybe they don't actually do anything that needs any sort of paperwork or they don't need supplies.
So I can tell you, so while you're looking that up, I can tell you in 2021, there was $14,875 budgeted and they spent $48.85. In 2022, $14,875 budgeted again, spent $5,016, $14,870.
5,000?
Yes.
Is that just salaries?
No, that's the total budget.
Oh, I meant
I
like-
thought you
So
meant
that-
that line.
Nope,
I was
sorry.
looking
I
at
was
the-
doing, I only have the one for the whole budget.
Gotcha.
So it looks like the budget was level funded for many, many years at $14,875, but was frequently mostly not used. And so in 2025, the proposed budget was dropped to that is it 4627 number? And it looks like still hasn't really been used much. So
That line wasn't used at all according to what I have for the last 3 years.
which one?
The supplies line.
Okay.
I think this is a cycle year. She left. I think so the Seabrook cycle happens every other year, the drill cycle. So, oh,
No, it's okay. I'm just getting
Okay.
ready.
okay.
Okay.
So I think last year it looks like the board tried to trim the budget closer to the historical actuals.
Right, right, I remember that. Okay. I don't know if I have like an answer or a request here. If we're fine to approve as is, then I'm fine.
Is that a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve emergency management budget at 4627.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to set the emergency management budget at $4,627 as proposed by the select board. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Copy. Okay, next is executive office. The select board proposed budget is $19,412, which is a decrease of $1,493 or 7%. Any comments or questions from the committee?
I may have asked this at the select board meeting, Julie, sorry, I don't remember the answer. For pre-employment physicals and the annual medical exams, which, I know they're only for certain types of employees, I think.
The pre-employment, yeah, and what else?
Annual medical exams.
Yeah, my guess would be police and fire.
Okay. Is it weird that
They would be in here and
it
not.
would be 0 for pre-employment physicals for this year?
No. I thought that too, but I think it's $1,000 because last year it was $2,000. And then they.
No, this year actual.
Oh, I see. Right.
Could it be like a timing thing?
I don't know.
Although I guess we've
I want to make sure that
hired.
I
people.
just want to make sure that it's not in some other line that we're gonna figure out later.
Yeah, unless it went into the annual medical exams. There's not a lot in there either.
Not in individual budgets? Like the police budget or?
I don't think so.
And then what are recruitment expenses?
If we were to use someone to try to, a recruiter to,
Like a headhunter? It looks like we did that this year
or,
and last year.
yeah, or if, I don't know if they, someone would have put like, if there was an ad,
Nope, there's an advertising line. That's a really good question. Okay.
Can you maybe just, what's LoSAP, just so I don't know what that is?
Length of service, something, award program. It's like a, we used to give people bonuses based on how long they worked for the town for.
Okay. So
It's like we don't use it anymore.
Don't use it anymore. And then where it says contingencies, I don't know, it says last year actual 4,800. I just wasn't sure if,
When it says last year, does that mean 2024?
yes.
I have no idea. I mean, we could look up what that was.
I just
but-
didn't know what this line was used for.
Especially since it's yeared out this year.
Hopefully nothing, because hopefully anytime there's an expense, it goes on the line it belongs on, right?
That's, is that a guess? I mean, because that's what I was wondering, if that's what this line, because I agree with you, like that. I'm glad you have nothing there, because I don't like the.
Catch-all.
I mean, we
and
could
if
look
no-
it up,
if
but
no one
since it
know-
was
no, no,
2 years
no, if no
ago.
one, if it's not something that anybody really knows what it is, that's fine. I'm fine with it, because it's gone to 0, so that's actually a good thing. If no one.
It was
really-
zero, it
if
was
no one
0
really
this
kn-
year too.
Yeah, and if no one really knows what it is, we just leave it at 0, so,
Yeah.
okay, thank you. I don't have any other questions now.
I think the only other thing that I will mention. Yeah, so for the 2025 budget, one of the select board members forfeited their stipend. I mentioned that it's not a guarantee that that person is going to be back on the board next year because they're up for reelection, and a different board member volunteered to not take their stipend. So that's why the department request is to pay all 5 board members. But then the board would eventually just approve the 4.
Okay.
Because the one person said that they were not going to take it again.
I have a donation form, so if anyone wants to donate, they could just donate money to the
Yeah, I
town,
mean,
too.
so my thought was that leaving
do.
it at the 5-person rate would just make it easier in terms of variability.
Yeah, I agree. I get it.
Because that means when we have somebody who wants to take the
Yeah,
$800
Sure.
before tax per quarter,
Yep.
it would just mean the budget would go up again. I think that's the only other thing that was like. I think that was the only other thing that was weird or not straightforward.
Motion to approve?
Second.
so I have a motion and a second to accept the executive office budget as proposed by the select board at $19,412. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Okay, so that's done. Next is legal. And I should mention, anyone who's viewing at home, all of these tabs are under this meeting agenda, additional documents. So if you can't see them on the screen, you can download them and look at them at home. So legal, the select board proposed is $33,503.
Under what sort of scenarios does the town attorney go up? Like last year, actual column D was spiked to 46,000. What was that scenario, and what others might arise?
I think it was probably personnel issues.
Yeah, we basically just need to consult with legal a whole bunch. I mean, there's definitely when there's personnel or if there's lawsuits or anything like that. In theory, contracts and other sorts of those things go to legal.
So if there wasn't anything like extraordinary happening in that year and it went up to 46, is it safe to budget only 33?
Well, there was a lot
Well,
going on in that.
There was a
year.
lot going on last year that hopefully we're not going to repeat.
And
But
where did the 33 number come from? Is it like an average of 5 years or something like that?
I believe the
I don't know where the 33.5 came from for this year. I wasn't here.
Didn't one of the members volunteer to his services?
one
if
of the
there were
select board members
easy,
did
like contractual, like
want
reviews?
to volunteer his legal services to reduce that amount. I don't know how that worked. Like I don't know how that works.
I just remember watching. That was the one that I watched. I think
Yeah,
that was the idea that these money will go towards, like, if there was some, I don't want to call it real issue, but big issue, and then any kind of contractual and smaller reviews could be done by one of the board members, if I recall.
I'm just
correctly.
not sure how that would work in terms of like, I don't know how like Primex would feel about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just.
I know.
It's what I remember from the.
So if you didn't put that number in there, who did?
The 33.5
Yeah.
from last year?
No, this year.
Oh, I put in the 35 based on this year's actuals, and then
Okay.
the select board voted to reduce it back to 33.5.
Okay.
Can I just ask who is the town attorney?
we use, what's,
Mitchell Municipal. It's a municipal law group out of,
And
Where-
do you know roughly what the hourly, I'm sure they must bill hourly or every 15 minutes, you know how what the, I just was trying
I
to.
don't know
we-
personally.
I mean, we
'cause
could look it up.
I haven't used.
Well, it just would help, I think, to know.
How many
What,
hours?
like, how many hours does that cover for, you know? I have no. Okay.
And actually, what is this, Jim, for this year actual, when is that through?
Mm,
May have been when I last,
It was definitely when you sent
Right,
it
but
to
if-
me.
Yeah,
but if that
September
was,
29th is the.
what number?
September 29th.
Okay, so there might have been another bill from them since then.
Which means that we're,
Or not just them, so like, I know that, conservation, when you're doing your, land purchases, those have to go by legal.
That's
It
usually
it definitely would have been
very
sometime in October is when you sent it to me, so. But it
at
wa-
least through September,
yeah,
but maybe through October. It does look like we're already at almost 35 this year. So I'm a little concerned. I mean, it has reduced, but I think 2024 was a big legal year.
Well, and again, I think, and it's actually good that you watched that meeting. The member of the board who is also a lawyer was saying that he had helped keep this number down by volunteering his services for like some contracts that have come up. So the 34.9 is actually a little bit artificially low.
that, I mean, that is myself personally, I feel like having the select board chair being an attorney and he felt I mean, this is the select board number and
Right.
I'm not an attorney. And
Right.
I think they're more involved with things than we are anyways.
So I think, and I expressed this at the select board meeting, I had two concerns. One, if something happens, we can't just not spend money on lawyers. And two, there's no guarantee that that person who volunteered their time will be here because they're up for election in March.
No, I know where he lives.
Okay. No, that's fine. I
No,
get nervous making plans for when that might
like
not
a
be the case.
one-time verbal statement,
I
a
was-
meeting that happened.
I was gonna say, is that promise, you know, regardless of what the outcome of the future looks like?
I mean,
I don't know.
we also have yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this.
But there are other things that can, I mean, go wrong during the year in town municipal finance that, you know, you do the best you can on a budget, but then if something happens.
Oh,
you
for
have to
sure.
make
I
do,
guess,
and-
I guess for me, especially because the last few years have been a little rough in terms of legal. So, in 2021, the actual was 25,888. In 2022, the actual is 26,950. 2023, the actual was 32,649. 2024, it was that 46,894. And then so far this year, total for the budget is, so.
Motion
All
to
right.
approve.
That average is 33,460. So I make a motion to approve as is.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second to accept the select board proposed budget for legal at $33,503. All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed?
I'm a nay.
We have one nay. Next is election. The select board proposed budget for election is $29,951. which is an, is that correct? Which is an increase of $23,399 or 357%.
And it's because it's an election year versus non-election year.
My question is, why are the salaries for the clerks going up so much compared to 2024?
Who would you like to answer this question? Oh,
Oh,
Daphne's
anyone.
here.
Um,
When did you get there?
I just want to send a correction. If there's anyone viewing at home, I printed it out. You will see that the total increase is incorrect on what I posted online because there was an error in the formula. The actual increase is 23,399, 23,399, or 357%. Thank you for. Yeah, no.
Ready?
Yeah, thanks, Daphne.
Okay, so for elections, what we discussed with the select board is that this year we had one election. The thought is that if we go SB2 this coming year, we should have all of the elections in there because we will not be able to increase them after. In this particular case,
Can I just ask a question, though? When you say if we go SB2, so
Yep.
if at town meeting, there's a warrant that passes that we go to SB2, doesn't that go into effect in 2027?
yep, it would.
So how does that impact the 2026 budget?
So 2026, you're still gonna have, we're having 3 elections this coming year.
Right, 3 elections.
3 elections. And in the budget right now, you'll see there's actually, they took out 1 election. So there's only 4 in there.
And my question was just simply, I know with SB2 it changes, but I would have thought any changes would be the following year because the budget is January to December, so.
May I?
By all means.
I think, again, kind of similar to the select board paying for all 5 members, I think what you're saying, and if I remember correctly, you said this was based on the conference you went to.
Mm-hmm.
If you budget for all 5, then there's no fluctuation in budget. So like getting them all in there now means that in future years, that won't have to be part of the tax cap or part of getting it through SB2.
Okay.
It would be
Yeah, but I
level
mean,
funded at
so
that
in
point.
other words, in a year when you know there's 2 elections, you budget for 5. If there's 5 elections, you budget for 5. If there's 3, you budget for 5.
Yeah, because
That's
it's
what
level funded, and then you don't have to ever look at it again unless there's one of those individual lines that are changing.
I guess you could do that. I don't know why when you know how many elections. There's not even there's no uncertainty.
So again, it's not about
free.
certainty or uncertainty. It's about
The
trying
tax
to
cap.
have less variability where we can have stability. It's like just knowing that this department would always be, what was the original number?
Which one?
I guess.
Like this, like we could level fund this budget forever and never have to have an increase.
Because then if we level fund it, it has no impact on the tax cap. So then if you reduce it one year, then the next year, I think that's what you're saying.
Yes.
Then the next year you have to be careful because then it's going to affect and impact what it's contributing to the tax cap portion.
That's true.
I can see the reasoning there.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But you say that about every budget that we do almost, right? Like I don't know. It's
Well, with
awkward that
elections,
you know.
we have to do elections.
I didn't say you
So-
didn't have to. I'm
No,
just
I'm
saying.
just saying,
you know
with
how many-
elections, you have to do elections. If we're in an SB2 situation and we have a default budget,
Yeah.
then we're also in trouble. And that's really where that comes into. The towns that are in SB2 with
Mhm.
default budgets,
Yeah.
this was also their suggestion, get it in now.
Because how does it work in an SB2 town if you're in a default budget
Yeah.
in a 5 election year? You have to just pull the money from somewhere else.
It's already in there, like they
No,
already
'cause-
have it in there. So, but yeah, you would have to pull it from somewhere else. I don't know where you would do that from if you're in a default.
So if you have it in there, then it passes default.
Well, it's
Yeah,
part of the
there's a
default
whole set
budget.
of rules about setting a default budget under SB2, right? Like,
Yep.
basically, no previous increases. You basically have to kind of level fund unless for things like debt, and there's a whole bunch of rules. And
Mhm.
you're right. It's just me personally. I mean, you know exactly how many elections there are. I don't, and
Yep.
this amount of money isn't all that much. I don't know why we would falsely inflate the election budget for this year. All that's going to do is roll money into fund balance, I guess, when we really don't have to. That's my thing. And where we are in a tax cap, I think we may need this money somewhere else.
I have
So-
a question. Why wouldn't this be a fund,
Why wouldn't this be what?
like a fund?
A revolving fund?
revolving fund, so that the money.
Because everything could be a revolving fund.
No, but if this is something that, as you say.
Oh, like you could
fixed,
accumulate.
And in the year where you have 3 elections, you use that. In the year where you have 5, you.
Because it's not going to really change how the money is appropriated. Because we're still going to have to do the same thing where like the year where we have more, we're going to have to refill it with more.
No, but if you, I guess, if you figure out an average and fund that average every year,
Mm.
kind of like what you do with appraisals.
Mm.
Well, is there a way then, could we at least know, if we go like on that, the first line, if that was for 5 elections, how are the numbers calculated? I guess I don't.
Which line are we talking
The
about?
very first one, salary.
The salaries?
Yeah. Oh, and then
So
we
that's
can
only
sign
for
it.
4 elections. That's 12 ballot clerks, because I have to take who the Democratic Party and who the Republican Party wants from my ballot clerks. We agreed it was $10 an hour. If they're there the entire day, even if they're not, even if they're split up, it's 15 hours. It could be 15 hours at 4 elections.
You said it was $10 an hour?
Mm-hmm.
Why a huge increase in the police detail line?
Police detail, it was suggested that we put that in on our side on the elections, so that will come out of the police side of the elections. And that is for 4 elections, 1 officer. We are assuming that the police chief would already be there, so that's the second one. So 1 officer at 12 hours, and their rate is $70 an hour for a detail, times 4 elections. Then at town meeting, there would be 3 officers. We're hoping that it would never be another 8-hour meeting, but 8 hours at $70 for that 1 meeting. And then there would be 1 extra officer at an election during a presidential election. So that would be 1 officer, 12 hours, $70 an hour. So at a presidential, you would have, including the police chief, 3 officers. And those numbers were given to me by the previous police chief.
For the detail rate, you mean?
For the detail rate and how many officers there
So is this-
historically have been.
I was just going to ask. So historically, this was somewhere in the police budget?
Yes.
Is that what we charge other town? Like, you guys just voted a police detail rate.
I think we charge more than that.
That's what I was wondering.
For the other towns, I believe this rate does not include the administrative rate because we're not going to loan somebody our car.
No.
Here. So this is a reduced rate from what we charge other towns.
Okay, thank you. So how many elections? The 6,000? I'm sorry, I just want to, I know I'm typing and trying to figure this out, but like, because you mentioned about a presidential election, but we don't have a presidential election this year, right?
So again, when you're putting all of the
This would
elections
be
in,
like worst case scenario. we would
this
have to
is the
pay.
ultimate. This is your 4 elections.
Okay, so do you know what it would be just for next year if we didn't do the ultimate?
It would be 1 officer. Well, no, next year there's 3 elections. So 1 officer at 12 hours, $70 an hour for 3 elections. Town meeting wouldn't change. That's 3 officers, 8 hours at $70.
We have 3
That's it.
officers at town meeting?
Yes,
Mhm.
plus the chief, usually.
We do.
We do,
Mhm.
really?
Yeah.
Historically, is there a reason? I'm just curious. Security or because,
We've had issues. Yep.
no, I know, I get having a police officer, I'm just surprised it's 3.
Um,
They also stand at the ballot boxes.
I was just gonna say, they, when there's, and we have 3, how many ballot boxes do we have now? 4?
We actually have 5 ballot boxes now.
Okay.
Because I think the last few, and you would know better than I would, I think the last few town meetings, we've had several hundred people in that room.
Yes.
So in the olden times when it was like 50, and by olden times, I mean like 4 years
Oh, no,
ago.
and honestly, part of this is just, when I think I may have been asked at the select board meeting that I didn't know if this was a New Hampshire requirement, so I looked up, I looked it up, and it is not a requirement. It's not state law that you have to have a police officer.
At the
But-
At town meeting?
But at elections, but it
Oh.
did say, that, yeah, a lot of towns do, but it warned about like having too many because it can intimidate, voters can be intimidated. And I just thought it was interesting that,
I don't think we're
we
gonna
have
have that problem
3.
this year.
okay, all right.
I also don't think we want to put out that police officers are bad.
Oh, I
You know,
wasn't
I
saying
think that
they're
that's
bad at
kind
all.
of a bad idea to
Oh, no,
put
no,
out
I
there too.
wasn't saying, I didn't say that at all.
No, I
Just
know,
saying
but to
didn't
say that
think
they're
we needed 3.
intimidating can be,
So Jim,
it can
just,
be bad.
so I see that you're missing, so town meeting,
Yeah,
there are 3 officers. I know that's not really in
Yeah.
your, there's no
right,
place
there's
for it.
really no place.
Um,
Because I want to say here, I guess I'll say personnel. Because this was 12, I believe, on clerks.
Yep.
And then for elections, it's 1 officer.
Nah,
Town meeting is 3.
Yeah.
Presidential 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
because the chief is salaried, so he would be there anyway, but we don't have to pay him anymore.
Like I said, do you know what the number would be? So the 6,000, the 7,200 and the 6,000 are and then it says supervisors, I guess as the next line would be the same. Are those all based on like the maximum amount of
So
elections?
the select board reduced the supervisors, it looks like. The select board made reductions already to some of these
The supervisor is down to 2,400.
for the 3 elections.
Yep, they took out 1 election, interestingly enough, town meeting. So that's down to 2,400. So supervisors get paid $200 each meeting. There's 3 of them. So 3 supervisors at 4 elections.
Because town meeting counts as an election for the purpose of this.
That's where you get the 5th election, yes.
Do you know what it would reduce if we took out the 5th election for all of these lines? Overall for the budget?
Yes, it was done. The select board one up there, that is what they took out, 1 election. So salaries, it's still, because ballot clerks don't get paid for town meeting, so they were only in the 4 elections. Supervisors, they took out 1 election, so you're down to $2,400. Meals and services was also wrong originally. It's down to $3,200 now because we included meals on the 5th election. And by we, I mean me. And then the police detail is new. It's on this side of the budget as opposed to the police side of the budget.
And then I was just wondering, because meals and services went up a lot from the actual from 2024. Does that meals and services for the
To
police?
to feed the people at the election.
Yeah. Oh, no, no. I was
Yeah.
just saying, is the increase because we're also then that line
Nope.
won't be on the police side or just?
Nope, meals and services has always been on my side.
Okay.
But you're multiplying it by more.
More.
Right, so this year there's only
Oh.
one.
So you're doing it by
Oh,
for
no, I
4
was looking
elections.
at the 2024 number.
So
And it just still is a big increase from.
and food also, the price of food went up. It was a little scary, actually. And so we originally had budgeted for $800 and then times the 4 elections,
Okay.
because we serve lunch and dinner.
And it's like what? Like
For how many?
sandwiches and,
We have last year I think we had sandwiches and pizza.
so it's all of the ballot clerks.
Yeah.
The police that are there, the ballot clerks,
I
all
like it
the
when I
select
get that
board,
also.
Yeah.
the supervisors.
So is that,
You-
that's 3 elections and town meeting, or how, it's because that's,
No, not town meeting, it's just 3 elections.
so, then.
You mean
it's-
this budget? Do you mean the food line? or
I'm
do
just
you mean
going by
this
the
budget?
meals and service. You said 800 per, and it's 3,200, but that's 4 times.
Times
that's 4
4
times 8.
elections.
But we only have 3 elections, right?
Right, but if we're putting them all in the budget,
No,
it's
that,
4
I
elections.
think,
Yeah.
at least what I was trying to find out is just what is the difference? Like, I know what you're trying to do, like to level fund the most. But if we were just funding for what we have this year, 3 elections, what would this $29,951 be?
So I think what Daphne is saying is that 29,951 is the 3 elections, because I believe that's what Bob did with a calculator.
I think-
No, it's
no,
4
not.
elections.
It's not.
I was gonna say,
Because of town meeting.
No. Well, he brought it down to 4 elections
Okay.
because of town meeting. So what you're showing in your SB proposed, that is it as he brought it down by 1 election.
So column G was the department request. That was Daphne's request of all 5.
Right,
Maximum.
right.
Okay,
So column H for the very first line
yes.
is the same as the department request. So they didn't change it, lower it down.
For which line?
The very first line, salaries.
Okay, so salaries for clerks. Clerks don't get paid for town meeting. So they get paid for the 4 elections.
So that's not.
The
gonna
one
change.
that what I'm trying to explain to you, the one that the select board took out was town meeting. Which the only people that get paid at town meeting is the moderator and the supervisors. Nobody else gets paid.
And I'll just state it. You said that this first line is 4 elections, but in 2026, are there not 3 elections?
There are 3 elections.
So what would this line be?
Okay, well, I don't have a calculator, but I can tell you what it would be.
Whatever 7,200
15
divided
hours.
by 4 times 3 is.
Hold on, 15 hours times $10 an hour times 12 ballot clerks times 3.
Keep your same table.
Yep.
Jim, but just put 3
So-
instead of 4.
Where it has $600, Jim,
Hmm.
make that a formula.
3 elections.
Yep. So. Yeah, something's not right in your formula. Yeah, you're missing,
Times 12.
well, you need times J 20. There you go.
So this one would be, I'm just going to type it in there for now, just, and then the police detail, what would that one be?
The same.
yeah.
Just
3
multiply-
times 14
multiply them
times
all by
7 times
0.75.
3?
Yep.
It's 75% of.
Yeah.
No.
As long as,
No.
remember what you said, Letty, about doing this
I
when you're. trying-
absolutely do, but you seem to want to
This
have
doesn't-
these numbers on the fly.
I was trying to
so-
just get them, for my own, but
I would like that number.
So
would like-
police detail should be about 4,500 if you were gonna do just 3 elections.
Are you doing times 0.75?
Yes.
I love you.
yeah,
Thank
yeah,
you.
that works, right?
It does work. Yeah.
Is supervisors the
That
same
stays
way?
the same.
That one's
No,
the
What,
same.
that one,
That
they already
was-
fixed that one, right?
Yep, that's correct as is.
Is meals the same? Is meals based on, or did they already lower that one
It
as
looks
well?
like we
So
lowered
that
it.
one they already
Yeah.
lowered? And then I guess the rest of them are all based on,
Meals, if you're only doing 3 elections, is $2,400.
thank you. Is software support, Daphne, is that dependent on number of elections?
So yep. So 2 machines times 3 elections times $500 a ballot.
By ballot, you mean sheet of paper in the ballot?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay, so we should leave that one alone.
I would suggest doing that, yes.
Leave it?
Only because, so, for example, I know that this year that there are several planning board changes that are gonna be
Okay.
on the ballot, which means that the
Sure.
physical,
Yep,
Yeah.
there will be many papers.
Okay. makes
So then
sense. No, that
would
makes
make
sense.
sense too with the increase in printing.
Printing, same. I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't think that would change, yeah. Okay. Advertising, is that changed based on having 3 elections instead of 4?
Yep, it's gonna be $750.
Thank you. Supplies?
Supplies, I would say that can come and go. I'm not sure. It depends on what the supervisors need.
And I suppose the maintenance is.
And maintenance stays the same.
Same, right? Okay.
That's an annual contract, right?
So if I did it, if I did it right, and please, I mean, because then if we did this for 3 elections, it's $25,601 versus 4 elections at $29,951.
I'll make a motion for the 25,601.
I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
I have a motion and a second to set the election budget for 3 elections instead of 4, at $25,601, which is an increase of, make sure I got this math right. Which is an increase of $19,049 or 291%. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's 4, 2. Okay.
Wait, that's not enough people.
5.
Yeah.
Oh,
Five.
5,
Five.
sorry.
Well, somebody
Motion fails.
abstained.
I would just say that this is probably one of those scenarios where it would be easy to cut a few dollars. We do have a tax cap, and Daphne, I totally understand what your line of thinking is to get this in there now and keep it there. But I think there's gonna be a lot of other increases, and it's gonna be really hard to meet that tax cap. And I don't know where other people are going to be willing to cut things to meet that tax cap. I think that's something that each one of us has to think very strongly about, because we are obligated to present that number. We cannot present a number overhead. Jim, can you show your summary page, please? He has up there on the right side of the screen, you can look at what the projected tax cap is. Obviously, we don't know that exact number at this time. But the proposed, if I understand this, the way you did this, Jim, the 504, the 191,
The 504,901 was the
Slash-
increase that the department heads, what was proposed.
And what has the select board approved so far?
You're only up to, well, you've only done $2 million of budget so far, so,
Right, but how does that compare to last year's?
well, it's hard to say. Last year's budget was like
No,
almost
but
6
I just want to be clear, the select board's still down by a couple $100,000.
right, but
Yeah.
you haven't approved all the budgets.
I know,
You
but
haven't
I-
approved things like fire
I know,
and
but-
police.
But I'm not gonna speak for the whole board, I have been looking at the whole thing when I vote for and against these things.
So,
Well, I mean, but let's be honest, the biggest change there, Letty, was the salt thing, right? Like, because that's almost the entire amount that's there, but
It's
I
actually,
just would
it's
caution.
actually roads, but yes.
can I finish what I was trying to explain? So the $191,000
Mhm.
is is the overspend, is that correct?
That's how
For
much.
all the budget requests.
Right,
And that is not including warrant articles, correct?
correct.
So that is just budget numbers. So again, I would ask each one of you, I would actually love an answer. Where are you going to be willing to make cuts? This one doesn't actually hurt if you make this cut. Doesn't hurt.
Well, Michelle, I'll tell you that 9A was just because we were doing it on the fly, and if we are to change, then I'd rather Daphne look at it and come back with 3 elections.
Daphne, this budget that the select board has proposed is 4 elections. When we get to a 5-election year, if and or when, then we will have to increase this. So this is like a middle road to get to where we want to go. And that's what I'm thinking about, is that if we get to a place where we're over, we know we have something to come back to. However, I also want to be cognizant of making everything with 0 plans for the future and then get caught in a year where everything has to increase by 25, 50%. So I appreciate what the select board has done, bringing it down to 4. I think that's a good middle of the road to try to plan for us to get to where we need to go.
Yeah, I second what Gabby says. It feels like a sort of strategic middle ground that I feel comfortable with.
Motion to approve as select board has proposed, 29,961,
51.
51. I even have my glasses on.
I'll second the motion.
So I have a motion and a second to set the 2026 budget for elections at the select board proposed $29,951. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay?
I'll abstain.
Motion. And one abstain, so the motion passes.
4, 2, 1. 7, that equals 7.
Yes. Okay. Next is town
Thanks, Daphne.
clerk.
Sure. Did you want to do town meeting first, since it's on the
Sure.
same page?
Yeah, it probably makes sense, right?
That one's a very easy one.
Yeah, let's do
They
town.
did remove 1 election from there. So moderator, everything else was the same. Town report, and there's no supplies in that line.
So the select board proposed budget for town meeting is $3,601, which is an increase of $800 or 29%. But again, that's because of the moderator line. But any questions or comments?
I have a question on last year's actual for the town report.
It's wrong.
I was wrong.
Why is it wrong?
There's another charge in there.
For this year actual, the 5115? Or the-
Yes, the 5115 is not what the town report cost. There's another charge in there.
Okay. That was my question too. Okay.
Do you know what it did cost?
was-
Exactly, it was like $1,800.
Motion to approve town meeting. Is that what this one? Yeah, town meeting.
Second.
Yeah, Liz, I apologize. It'd probably be the same thing. 29%. Sorry, so I think there was a
Motion.
motion
I second.
and a second to accept the select board proposed 2026 budget for town meeting at $3,601. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None? Passes.
Julie, could we get that other charge moved to the correct line, maybe? Thank you.
Makes you wonder how many other lines are not
Can you not
accurately
say that right now?
Garbage
It's stressing me out. I even know what that is.
in, garbage out. Garbage in, garbage
Daphne,
out.
do you clerk or collector first?
It
Doesn't
doesn't matter.
Make sure.
No, it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
We'll do town clerk next.
Okay. There was an error on my calculations,
Oh, yeah.
as Jim pointed out,
Show that.
and put in bright red to embarrass me, I'm sure.
I'm sorry.
Um,
I did not do that.
The
I'm sorry.
FICA numbers did not pull over from my total line, so that line is wrong. I know.
You should.
You know what? I should quit. I mean, honestly,
Tone of shame.
I'm here to give my resignation, actually.
I did come and speak to you, though. I didn't
did.
just like.
You did. You still put it in bright red, though.
It's just something they would see
You
it.
did. It could have been nice and pink, but bright red
Hold on,
is
I
whatever.
will,
Anyway.
Go. What is that? All right, so what do you?
Yeah, it's yellow. How's that? I don't see any red.
Hold on. Let me make sure.
So that number should be 6,033.
Yeah.
Which I thought you had fixed.
Yeah, I believe it's 6363. Is that what you said?
6032.56 technically.
Hold on,
6033.
Oh, what did you want to say?
I
Bonnie?
just, I don't know, pick one.
Yeah, there it is. 60. Yeah, it
There's
gets.
just
It's
a-
because it's getting
No,
divided.
I know how it works.
6033.
Have
Yeah.
different numbers.
Yes. The increases in this budget were in the convention line to be able to bring the deputy, which I have not been able to the last 2 years because we were short-staffed. So we really want to do that this year. The budget this year for myself alone was close to $1,000. It was $991.84 to go to conference. The other increase was in dog tags. Those went up. The actual physical dog tags went up. They've been going up about $10, $15 every year.
And is that salary line 3%?
That one is 3%, yet.
That's why my numbers don't match.
And I did not touch that this time. Again, I was going to just wait to see what the select board was going to do on this. I mean, and I'll be honest, I'm on the cemetery side. I haven't been told to resubmit anything, so I don't know if you've been told. But
Nope, I haven't been told.
I did not touch this. I left it that way. I definitely want, and I spoke to you a little bit about this, was on the, both the deputy and the office clerk. When you look at the weeks at the new rate, like you total up the weeks, it totals more than 52 weeks. And we usually do 13 and 39. And I just think that you should explain that to everybody in terms
Sure.
of, because I just, it's something that I've never seen before in budgeting, that we always use 52 weeks. And so I think on the clerk, like I said, I think on the clerk, there's 6 extra weeks at the new rate. And on the deputy one, there were 3 extra weeks.
So the reason for that is back probably 10 years ago, when I started doing this, I was told by that administration that any money, for example, if there was overtime, if somebody had to work any extra hours, because I have a person in my office that's just 16 hours a week, they have to work any extra hours, that I was to budget for that because it could not come out of any other line. So it was 3 weeks for the deputy and 6 weeks for the assistant clerk was the suggestion. And that's how we made sure that they were getting paid if they had to be here extra hours.
Is that a
I
common
wouldn't-
thing?
For my office, oh yeah, for sure. Elections, they have to be there. My 16-hour-a-week girl, if I need her the entire week because I'm out, there needs to be 2 of us in the office. That's technically a week and a half extra for her. So, because it's just 16 hours that she normally works. So if you're adding in 24 hours on top of that. I use her during the elections. When I'm on vacation, if anyone's out sick, that's for both of them. It's the same thing. If you have to be here an hour after, we've closed, Heather could potentially be here 12 extra hours a week if I'm not here.
I guess my only question is that other departments have overtime, like why?
Yes,
wouldn't we
I don't
one?
have an overtime line, and that's above my pay grade for you guys to,
Well, it wouldn't necessarily, sorry, it wouldn't necessarily be overtime, right? Because
Not
like your
necessarily.
16-hour-a-week person, if they're working 32 hours, it's
because
still not overtime.
Overtime is 10.5.
Right, but it's still, so it's still not overtime.
right, overtime. But like for Heather, it would be considered overtime because she's at 40 hours, so that's time and a half. But as far as discussing, new account numbers and new line items, that's not something that I
I
handle.
think we should have overtime anyways, just because that's
Agreed.
the way it's booked for payroll.
But it's not
purposes.
necessarily overtime.
No, but if there was an overtime, and then maybe
So,
track.
my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that previous administration also told you that you had to use comp time,
Mhm.
even though legally that's not required.
Hmm.
No comment.
Okay. So I guess how would you track or how would you handle, I guess your office is the biggest staffed of these offices. So how do you, is this 3-week, 6 thing how you plan for coverage when somebody's out, basically?
Yes. That is how I cover it.
Hmm.
Because I don't have an overtime line and I don't have any other sort of line to put anything else in.
Would you like to have another line to put something else in?
Well, sure, that would be fantastic. However, that's not up to me.
Well, it is actually up to you what
And I
lines-
can't put overtime in my assistant's line if she's not working over 40 hours.
What if
No,
you
but
call
we
it
can
coverage?
Budget, well, like at the library, they don't call it overtime when their pages have to work extra hours or et cetera. They just budget however many hours in the year or per month. And
Sounds like that's what Daphne's doing, and it's just
Yeah,
not-
that's what I was
No,
doing.
but see, I think my opinion, I explained this to you, is that
Mhm.
when you do it this way, it falsely inflates what the person's wages and salary looks like. Because someone looks at this and goes, because everyone assumes this is a 1339 thing like everybody else. And I kind of agree that it should be in a separate line for coverage or something, or.
I don't disagree with you, but I don't make up the account numbers,
But-
so I don't
But
know what
you-
to do.
Would you like a new account line?
I think
Sure.
fire had something like that too, where
Because we can,
chiefs, PTO.
Mm.
so
All I'm gonna do is move that money into that account line.
I think that's fine.
So it's not gonna change.
But it'll be
It-
easier
it
for you to
won't,
track,
but
it
also
sounds like.
it would also be, yeah, I think for tracking purposes, like for expenditures, it makes a lot of
Whatever
sense.
whatever you think,
Because-
sure.
Because even I'm a little confused because like you said, one is 6 weeks at 16 hours. That's 96 hours of additional time for the whole year, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is 3 times, but
40 hours.
but is it 40 or, because if this person gets overtime, isn't it time and a half or how does that work?
Yeah, overtime is time and a half.
So it's not 3 times
Yes.
40, right?
So it's technically if she worked an extra week and a half.
Right.
That's really what that is.
Okay. Yeah, right.
So, yeah, if you could decide what lines you'd like to have in your budget, would you like to have a line that's for coverage and for overtime or just for coverage?
Well, maybe we can talk about it with the select board, sure. Because it's going to be two separate things, right? There's going to be an overtime line, and there's going to be one if a 16-hour person works extra hours.
But it's not going to change the bottom line.
It's not going to change the bottom line, no.
So,
But if you had overtime in the past, how was it booked?
We didn't have overtime in the past. Well, if we had overtime in the past, it came out of exactly the way that we just did it.
Well, it's on previous accounting. Like overtime is overtime. It has to be booked as overtime. And I think that once
Like, I personally don't get overtime because
I
I'm
understand
salaried.
that.
So
But
anybody
Julie, what
under
do you
me would have to get overtime over 40
I
hours.
just want to ask the accountant, I'm sorry, what do you think with overtime? Will you, like, for across departments, will your policy be to book overtime separately? Yeah, yeah. So then that line is, right away is going to be there.
So what do we do in the line with the 16-hour girl? Because it's not an overtime
I mean,
That
you could
should
add
be
two
coverage.
lines.
so
Yeah.
I have drafted an email to Julie right now because I think that worked well last week, Julie. Just asked her to add lines in the tax collector and
Town clerk.
town
town
clerk.
clerk budgets, one that's for coverage and one that
But
says overtime.
I don't understand why we need a coverage line.
Because it's not overtime.
Correct.
No.
But why wouldn't we just budget for, she's hourly at 16 hours a week? We would just add
Agreed.
a
Because
line
well,
that says
because-
And
however
just
many
so you- I mean, I
extra
but
hours.
think the
to
You
what
point
you
just
is
said
said
it inflated her.
overtime doesn't have,
Yeah.
I don't think overtime automatically means time and a half.
Yes, it
I-
does.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't,
No, that's
I don't,
If it's over 40
If it's
hours.
84
Right,
hours a week.
right, but
That's what,
That's why
But
we're
if somebody's
That's what the
working-
difference is.
But like if you're looking at a budget and it said overtime, you're expecting
This
the
is just
rate is
technicality.
1.5.
Got it. Okay.
Whereas the person with the
Yeah,
coverage
okay.
would, it's still their normal rate, it's just
Yeah.
extra time.
Agreed.
And I think
That's why I don't
to
think
what
we
you
need an
said
extra
earlier,
account.
having it separated out would make it easier to understand that like this is a maybe.
Mhm.
right.
It's not a guarantee. Like if for some reason you don't get to go on a vacation or whatever, then that coverage isn't going to be needed.
I totally
But,
agree.
but then it should roll forward for the time, so the accrued PTO should also count somewhere then, right? Because
No,
if
we don't
No,
track
we
that
don't.
anywhere.
you don't track that, but does it accrue?
It does, but we don't
So-
track that in the budget.
So it rolls forward, and then the year that, let's say, Daphne decides to take 5 weeks, that would be nice, right?
Starting right now?
Immediate,
Daphne's out.
effective immediately.
Bye, buddy.
If you're sending the email to the town administrator,
Yeah.
and Daphne, I hate to say this, but like, I don't think we should vote on this until you take that out and separate those hours as separate line
It's
or
not going to
lines.
change the amount.
No, it
but
won't,
okay.
but I think it makes more sense to
Oh.
have salaries in
I
one
kind
line
of
and then
agree.
excess.
But aren't you just
Work
voting on
time.
the bottom line? Or are you voting on individual line
I'm
items?
gonna go with Daphne on that one.
Yeah, I kind of feel like, because it's obviously not going to change any like historical numbers or the
Well-
amount you're requesting. It's going to change
Okay.
how you keep track of it next year. So I don't know that I
Hmm.
necessarily need to see it broken down to feel comfortable with it. And I'd rather not touch a budget twice if the numbers aren't in flux. It's just where
Hmm.
that money is going is the flux.
So if your salary line and Heather's salary line are padded, I'm gonna use that word just for this,
Mine's
It's-
not. Hers, she's not salary, she's hourly.
okay, so taking the amounts out of these won't have any impact on retirement or anything like that?
Mm-mm.
There's another budget, Jim, where you have total wages, I think, and then instead of stipend, it's like overtime.
Planning board has an overtime line in their budget.
Yeah.
That's
And
the first one aside from police and fire that has ever existed, and highway that has ever,
had overtime.
right? That is not historically how we did things in Brentwood.
I also, I'm not sure if we should
Building
consider that.
inspector doesn't have overtime? No?
Yes. So what I'm saying is I don't think we need a separate coverage line. It would just, we would know because of how the hours. That's a straight formula for the 16-hour a week. I mean, yeah, but the overtime is not, which is why I think only overtime needs to be broken out.
My perspective on that is that if I want to know how much that person's going to make in a year, I don't want to see the coverage hours as part of that.
Yeah.
Mm.
But it still obviously needs to be in the budget. in
Like
case
I
they
want to
need
know about it, but I don't
actual
want
work those.
I don't want it to be in like the place where their regular wages would be.
And plus, that particular table is still based on weeks, and that will leave that 45 and 13, and that's what Jim was saying to begin with, that it should be 13 and 39.
Mhm.
Yeah, I just think that would have to be reconfigured. All right, I don't care.
Yeah, I think we're overthinking.
Yeah. Over engineering. I think that's fine, doing overtime in a coverage line. I just don't want it to be too complicated. Over detailed.
Past that.
I think we have a ways to go before we're over detailed.
Well, I would move that we table this budget until that is clarified. I understand that it's the same number, but I would like to approve the actual budget, not the supposed one. Motion to table. Having flashbacks to last year.
I'll second the motion to table until we get the actual numbers separated out and approved by the select board.
Is this for both the town clerk and tax collector?
Yeah, because I think I think what happens is the number actually gets divided by 2, right, Daphne? So it does impact both of these budgets, town clerk and tax collector.
What
Not the bottom line, though.
No.
What are we doing about the 3%? I hate to bring
Well,
it
I
up
just
again.
said, like, I didn't change it because of,
It has
I'm-
3% in it.
I'm waiting
For
to
the
see
placeholder,
what the
The select board approved it with a 3%.
even though they stated a 2.8.
That was after we approved this budget.
Yeesh. That's a mess.
Yeah, I kind of said at the
Yep.
beginning, I thought they were going to request them back, and I have not officially, been on the cemetery side with that hat, I have not been asked to redo my budget.
So we could theoretically be reopening every budget with a salary line if the select board decides to change these budgets?
Yes. And last year, when the select board reopened a whole bunch of budgets at once, you can do that, and it doesn't have to be painful.
So again, we have a motion and a second to table. And any more discussion on that? No? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Nay.
Nay.
Maybe, was it
That was
Dan?
3 to
Yeah, it was
3.
3.
Yeah.
It was 3.
Three?
They're
three.
waiting for Gabby.
Oh, no.
3-3 Gabby.
Can I abstain?
You can. But if you abstain, then it fails.
Yeah.
Right.
It's just a pause button.
Are
Daphne doesn't even have to
I
come
would
back when we
I would
actually
like
vote on
to
it.
approve and move on. I'm worried that the 3% is in here and it doesn't reflect what the select board has said. However, we've approved other budgets. Motion to table, nay.
Motion fails.
Motion to approve the budget.
I'll second.
Just, I'll point out, We put the 6,033 in there for FICA on both the tax collector and, oh, I'm sorry, we'll make that, sorry, I made it yellow. So the FICA is 6033 on ours. So
Okay.
it will be different than.
Right.
So what is the total?
So
Yeah,
which
we're
one
just
are we
putting
doing
out
first?
that
Payment just correct.
Town clerk
Yeah, we were looking at.
is what we
town
were
clerk.
talking about.
So
I have the bottom line is 9752355.
7.5.
5235, well, technically 524.
Yeah, rounded up.
If you're,
Oh, yeah, I'll give you, I was just.
97524.
although I could save you 45 cents there.
the fact that we go down to, we should always just go in round dollars.
The IRS doesn't even accept
And on the,
cents, so.
So what's the difference on that, Jim?
975.
on,
Dollar difference in,
on town clerk, the budget would be $97,524, which is an increase of, just make sure,
36.
2,500, oh, let me make sure I got this right. Yes, I wanna make sure I have to
3683.
change this to BudCom.
Mhm.
Sorry.
3683, Daphne?
Yes, ma'am.
10%?
Thanks, Daphne.
Mm-hmm. Do you say what percent?
Mm.
3.92.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Go around that one
No,
up
hold on,
too.
she had a different number.
Yeah, what's that not right?
Oh, it's not taking the sum.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
3685. Yeah.
Okay, so motion to approve 97,524 with the edit to FICA.
Second.
So I have a motion and a second for town clerk at the $97,524, or an increase of $3,685. All in favor?
I
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. I guess that passes 4-3. It's town clerk, tax collector.
Who was the third name?
Dan.
Oh.
Make sure we did this right.
Tax collector?
No, it's the same thing with the FICA.
Yes. So
Did you get it?
9, 8.
998,573, Daphne, is that what you
Yes.
got?
Yep.
Increase 3635?
Yes, and, yeah, 3.8, yep.
Motion to approve tax collector budget 96573.
I'll
What?
second.
It's 98.
Oh, God, I gotta
Yeah.
get a new eye doctor.
Do you want my glasses?
Um,
Maybe I have yours on. Hold
So
on.
there's a motion and a second to approve $98,573, 98573, increase of $3,635, roughly.
35? No.
Okay, so the total is 98573, which is an increase of 3635.
Jim, on the bottom right hand part, there's
80%. Oh, yeah, sure.
That's what we needed.
I don't need these two.
That's at
numbers
100%.
anymore.
In fairness, that's now
Yeah.
at 100%.
That's 100. Yeah, well, that's because this is okay.
I know, they're large sheets.
got it.
I get it. Okay.
So I had a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
I
Opposed?
Nay.
Nay. I guess that is. Dan, you were a.
I was in favor.
Okay, so that one's 5-2.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daphne.
Thank you, Daphne.
Of course.
Woo.
Okay, next is joint loss management.
Sorry. That was me.
Was that?
That was me hitting the microphone with my stack
Can
of
I
papers.
Can I just motion that at $2 right now?
Second.
I was about to do
Whoa.
the same thing.
It's
Sorry.
$2.
Now we'll copy those over.
I'm just saying, let's motion and.
Yeah, I guess the,
I can't find it.
no,
No.
I'm sorry, I do have to ask. Julie, I'm sorry, I have to ask. Because it's my first time with this joint loss management, and I do other towns, there are towns that budget money for this, and I know there's law, RSAs that say you have to have a committee and we meet. I assume we're good. You're okay with $2. We're not expending any money on training or anything okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure, because I know it is a law that we have to do this.
Did we have a second?
I seconded it.
So we have a motion and a second to accept the select board proposed budget of $2 for joint loss management, which is it's flat from last year. All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed or abstained? Great. Liz, I will tell you, if you look at New Hampshire RSA 281-A64, it explains it to you. Is that okay? Hold on.
I could tell you, but I.
No, I'm not going to read it in the public. No, we don't have time for that. Yeah, let's do health officers next.
I have a question. Are
Oh.
we able to, oh no, for health officer, sorry. I'm jumping ahead.
Okay, no, that's okay.
Are we able to do 50 cents on a line?
Yes.
My spreadsheet does it. I know the
Yes.
night they did this, I laughed. I'm like going, why are you doing this? Like, I mean, come on.
So they did this because I tell you why they did this, because I wanted there to be $1. I did it. I wanted there to be $1 on both lines because yes, our particular health officer that we currently have does not take a salary, but if that were to change, not being able to pay for FICA Medicare felt problematic. However, they didn't want the budget to change, so they made it at 50 cents on each line.
Why didn't we do this for joint loss management?
Because
Okay.
Bob Montegary wasn't involved.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I know.
I mean, we could save $1.
Okay.
We have a tax cap.
Thank you. Thank you. So I have a motion, and I believe there was a second, to accept the select board proposed budget of $1 for health officer. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? No, that passes. Great. That's all of our budgets for this evening.
I have a question for our select board rep.
Okay.
At the selectmen's meeting where they discussed the 2.8%, you voted in favor of it? Why are you voting in
At the
favor
select
of
board meeting?
now?
At the select board meeting?
What did I say? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Why am I doing what? When?
Why are you voting for the 3 now? What
when-
changed
Which time did I vote for the 3?
on any of the budgets that have salaries thus far that we have voted on? I'm just curious why you supported it there, and now you're supporting a higher number here.
Oh, I would have supported a higher number there too, but I wasn't offered one.
Okay, that's an answer.
I mean, I made the original motion, which was to offer 2.8, no more than 2.8% for COLA. And the motion was amended to include all. But I still feel like we should be paying, I mean, it didn't feel right at the time to vote no when I wanted a larger number. But I don't know what's gonna happen now, so I guess we'll find out.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned till tomorrow.
Tune in next time, Brentwood Budget Committee.
I'll be there.
Nothing on old business. Subcommittee updates on the health side. I mean, glad you already gave that. Anything from anyone else? No? I'll open it up to public comments. Mr. Miller, just come to the microphone.
We can hand you one too.
Yeah.
So I just have One question, probably a follow-up comment. On the detail work, the $70, how was that number developed?
Are you talking about specifically the town detail rate or the one, you're talking about specifically what the town detail rate is?
The amount the police officer is charged for detail work, are there two different ones?
There are, but yes. So if you're talking about the one that was in the election budget,
Yeah.
that is based on the general detail rate that the town charges people when they ask for a detail. I believe it doesn't include the administrative fee, so the amount that people outside of town, or when it's not the town of Brentwood, get charged is a higher rate.
And by the administrative rate, is it made up of comp and benefits, or is it just comp, or?
No. So the additional administrative fees, I believe, are for billing and wear and tear on the car. Yeah, it's basically a cruiser rental fee and the administrative fee for us to do the billing to pay the officer. And
So on the $70, is that made up of compensation and benefits, or just something else?
I don't know.
So where I'm going with it is that they're already employed by the town, and they have the benefits associated with that position.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're already, they're getting the benefit of that employment, why are we charging ourselves any detail rate associated with services to the town? It would seem to me.
Because they wouldn't be there otherwise.
So they wouldn't come.
No. Yeah, so these are
They-
people who are specifically hired by the town to be on site.
There are police officers
And
Yes.
on the
employed
budget,
by our town.
yeah, but in the budgets, on the police budget, they have
Yeah, that's
different
not talking about
hours.
budget, I'm talking about common sense.
Mhm.
So.
No,
I
but I'm trying to understand
you
why.
know, if you work for me,
Uh-huh.
and there's always a piece that goes to other duties as assigned, if you want to go there, I wouldn't even think this is another duty. I think it's a requirement of police work for the town.
Yes,
I
but we pay our officers hourly,
Sure,
so we have to pay for them to be there,
I would pay them hourly,
which we're doing.
so it's just their flat hourly rate.
No, it's the detail rate because they're being paid a detail.
Yeah, well, that's where we differ. I would say you just pay them their hourly rate. If it's overtime, you pay them the overtime component of it, because their comp and benefits are already covered.
No, their benefits are not covered. So if we pay them additional hourly, we have to pay for retirement and all of the other things that go along with it.
And so when you're paying them on detail, they get no pension or,
I don't know how that rate is, I honestly don't know how that rate is broken up. I think that's something that was set by the.
well, I actually remember when we did that, because half the reason we needed police officers when I was on the board was so they could work over at the driveway, because it more an hour than. But, and, you know, it was a big incentive, a huge incentive. And my push, what I'm pushing at is,
Okay.
you know, pay them overtime if it's over 40 hours. They're working for us, pay them to work for us. And as far as they won't come, you know, you do work for us, and if you don't want to come, there's consequences. There should be.
We can't make them come.
Okay, people who work for me, if I tell them to work, guess what? They work. Or they don't work, whatever. But I mean, if
Okay.
you're doing it differently, that's fine.
I mean,
Guess I don't.
I get what
I can look
you're
at
saying.
The
I
rate
mean,
is
there's,
comprised of, but I don't.
there's definitely, I know there's a detail rate that others pay, outside they pay, and it's higher than that. And there's a rate that I heard this, that they charge the town, and the $70 is, I believe, what they charge the town for details.
But that would be a rate on a yearly basis of about $140,000 a year.
It is.
I think I
There
made my
aren't
point.
that many elections.
You did. Anything else, Mr. Mills?
That's it.
Thank you.
I just wanted to clarify what I was saying is that it comes out of that budget and comes into a new budget.
Right,
So it would have been there anyways.
right.
And they do count it at highest.
Yeah, I
paid
think he was
example.
really trying to point out the,
No, I understand, but
hourly rate.
also like the way that overtime, any kind of overtime is budgeted is that you pick the highest paid employee because you don't know who exactly is gonna be. You can't say like the lowest paid should come and, so
Correct.
for budget purposes, we actually, by
Right.
using around $70, we might
Right.
be
Yep.
averaging it.
I was used to that, yeah, absolutely. Any other comments from the public?
Just real quick,
Liz
Liz
Freer?
Freer, South Road. I would like, if it's a 3-election year, to be paying for 3 elections. So I agree with Jim on that one.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? None? Anything else from any of the committee members? Just want to make sure our next meeting is December 8th, 6 PM.
Should since we're ending a Tish early, does it make sense to pick some dates in January tentatively?
You know something? Good idea.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Thank you, Gabby.
Maybe
was
by
gonna
doing
wait
this
until
now, we
November
won't leave so late next time, because this will be done. I know, but.
So we have the 8th and the 15th we already have scheduled in December, and then that was the last one we had was December 15th, right?
Correct?
Yeah.
So January 12th,
That's too long
Yeah.
too long.
between meetings.
You want to meet on the 5th?
No,
The 29th?
maybe, I don't know. I'm a little,
I will not be able to be here on the 29th.
I know there's a lot of big budgets
But-
still.
I agree with Letty that I'd like to pick either the 29th or the 5th.
Well, Dan's gone the 5th.
I'll be gone the
5th, I
5th
have
too.
6 o'clock school board meeting, yep.
I won't.
Could we start
I won't be
early?
here on the 5th. Somebody else will have to take minutes.
Not done.
How's this 29th look for anybody?
Horrible.
I will most likely not be able to make it.
I'm probably gonna be away for that one too, it looks like.
I would really not like to do the 22nd personally.
No,
No.
I know why we're gonna end up going to January 12th. I get it, but that's 4 weeks, and that's a lot of stuff. And we had like done the
Could
whole
you do
work
the ninth?
backwards thing.
Sure.
Because I could do different days.
Are there different days that work in that time?
Can I
then?
make a suggestion, since they
Because-
said at
No.
the school board that they
Nope.
would have,
Just wait, just wait, please.
and if we vote?
Yeah, hold off.
Because we had worked back when you had that
Correct.
list, when we have to have things by, and that's
Correct.
where
Yep.
getting to the end of January makes me nervous.
Right, the public hearing is the 4th of February.
Right.
Could we have it like on the 7th, Wednesday? Tuesday, or Tuesday's select board?
Tuesday's select
Yeah.
board.
Wednesday.
I thought you were saying Wednesday, the 31st, like New Year's Eve. Cool. That'd be a hoot.
That's
Wow.
my birthday party. Everyone's.
There you go.
Right, we did.
Is December 22nd not an option?
It's the last night of Hanukkah, so I'd rather we not, since we're already doing one night of Hanukkah.
Okay, well, that's fair, but there's all the other nights somebody can't be here, so we have to pick a
Well,
night that people
I
can't be
think
here.
January 7th, I could do.
I can do January 7th.
Yeah.
Wednesday, January 7th,
Mhm.
I don't see anything on my calendar, I should be able to do it.
6
we need to
PM, Wednesday, January 7th.
Double check this room
I can't
availability.
Commit to that, but
Yeah, I don't know how I can
Oh,
tell if
that's
this
true.
room is available or not.
I just
don't
booked
have
it,
access.
so.
Thank you, thank you. Good. Okay.
Michelle, would meeting earlier or later help?
no, that day just won't be good at all. Probably. I don't know right now.
I mean, maybe we won't need it, because we'll just fly through all the other budgets.
Oh, sure, in 2 meetings?
So So we'll say the 7th at 6 PM, then we're to the 12th.
The 19th
Yep, the 19th,
and 26th.
and then the 26th.
The 19th is a holiday.
A holiday.
19th.
Does that mean people can't be here, or?
It's just a
Well,
federal
that's-
holiday.
I have,
Just assumed on a federal holiday, wouldn't do it.
I have a
Is
question.
town
for
office
next
closed that day?
Monday.
Yeah.
Is there a
Must be.
reason
Yeah,
we
town
weren't
office
having
is
one
closed.
then?
Okay.
Yeah, the 24th.
I assume because it's.
Thanksgiving, I think people didn't want to meet that week because it's
I mean-
Thanksgiving.
Does anyone have a conflict next Monday?
I do not. I can meet next Monday.
I can as well.
Same.
If we'll have budgets, it might make sense to try to get that in, and maybe we don't need
Yeah,
the
that would be
7th.
So- You want to do Monday, that's next, the 24th?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I was just kind of.
Will we have budgets to review?
That's a good question. So I assume your color coding, Jim, is things that the select board, the blue are things the select board has approved, but the.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
Oh,
So
then
we-
yeah, we could definitely do those. Or, I guess not definitely. See if we can get people here.
Well, we could do, right now, snow, ice, library, highway. I believe that's it.
And then in theory, the select board, I think.
What are you
is-
doing tomorrow?
I think tomorrow we're doing the fire department, general government.
Oh, great. Let's
And
Okay.
definitely meet next week.
Yeah.
insurance, what? Government,
Let's definitely meet next week if we can get fire
or highway, or
or
both.
highway or both done.
Yeah,
Well, we can definitely do, on the 24th, we can do highway and snow and ice for sure.
Okay.
okay, sweet.
Okay, so 11/24, and then I'm just making sure I have it written down here. Wednesday, January 7th.
Should we,
All right,
so
should we wait on booking Wednesday, the 7th? Because,
I said,
So
I say book it and then.
I booked the
Oh,
room,
right,
yeah,
but
we
if
can
we
just
feel confident
change.
over the next couple weeks that we're not. gonna-
right, then we can.
Yeah, I think we
Okay.
should, I
Yeah.
think we
We'll
should, yeah,
keep
I think
it for now.
it's better to keep it just in case.
So what we have is November 24th,
Mm-hmm,
December 8th, December 15th, January 7 question mark,
mm-hmm,
January 12.
mm-hmm.
Are we doing January 19 or no?
I said the town office is not even open that day.
Why don't we, or we could wait and see, because I think after the next couple meetings, we'll have a better sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, let's hold
stick
off
with
then.
that.
We'll get to the 12th,
End
that's
of the
good. And then
12th.
Yeah.
we'll decide next meeting too. We can see how it goes, or the meeting after that.
Okay.
Everyone okay with that?
And do you want to tentatively book the school board to join on on January 12th?
Wanna- Yeah, you want to do that?
I have to like confirm with the rest of the group, but
Right.
it seems like the best
You
target.
let me know.
Okay.
I would say, let me know, because it's either the 7th or the 12th, I guess, whatever you want to do.
Motion.
There was a
Adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second to adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you very much.
Thank you
Have a good
so
night, folks.
Where did I just schedule that?
I tried to go in slow motion.
Like literally, like where did I
Which
just?
one are you missing?
The one in January? Oh, no, wait. Oh, I just put it at 8 a.m. District.
Oh,
I will fix it.
gross. Won't be there.
Nobody will be. Very yucky.
Okay.
What? Okay.